Someone is kind to you, genuinely kind. They show up when they say they will. They check in. They're patient. They don't disappear after 3 weeks. And instead of feeling relieved, instead of feeling safe, you feel something closer to dread. Like you're waiting for the catch. Like this whole thing is a setup for something that's going to hurt later. And you can't explain it. Because logically, you know this person is good, but your body doesn't believe it. Your nervous system is still bracing. This is one of the most disorienting experiences a person can have, being loved and still not feeling safe. And if this has ever been you, I want you to understand something before we go any further. This isn't weakness. This isn't you being broken or difficult or incapable of love. This is your nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do. Let's talk about what's actually happening. Your brain has one primary job, and it's not happiness, it's prediction. Every single day, your brain is running simulations, taking everything it learned in your past and using it to forecast what's coming next. And when it comes to love and relationships, it learned its earliest lessons when you were very small, before you had language for any of it, before you had any choice in the matter. If the love you received as a child was inconsistent, sometimes warm, sometimes cold, sometimes there and then suddenly not, your brain didn't learn that love is safe. It learned that love is unpredictable, and unpredictable things require vigilance. They require you to stay alert, to watch for signs, to never fully exhale. Psychologists call this an anxious attachment style, and it develops when caregivers are emotionally unavailable in ways that aren't always obvious. It doesn't have to be abuse. It can be a parent who is physically present but emotionally somewhere else. A parent struggling with their own unprocessed pain. A childhood where your emotional needs were either met inconsistently or made to feel like too much. Where love felt conditional, like it could be withdrawn if you said the wrong thing, or needed too much, or weren't good enough that day. Your brain learned the pattern, and now it applies that pattern to everyone. Here's where it gets complicated. When someone consistently safe shows up in your life, it doesn't feel familiar. It feels foreign, and the brain doesn't like foreign. The brain mistakes familiar for safe, even when familiar was actually painful. So you meet someone kind, and something in you starts looking for the exit. Not because you want to leave, but because your nervous system is searching for the part where this goes wrong. The part it knows how to handle, the inconsistency, the withdrawal, the emotional temperature change you've been trained to track for years. Research on trauma and the body has shown that the nervous system can become addicted to emotional states it knows, even when those states were painful. Your body learned a specific emotional climate, and when that climate suddenly becomes calm and consistent, it doesn't register as safety. It registers as unfamiliar. And unfamiliar, to a nervous system that's been on guard for years, feels dangerous. This is why some people unconsciously sabotage good relationships. Not because they don't care, precisely because they do. When something matters, the fear of losing it becomes unbearable. And some part of the brain decides that if it ends on your terms, at least you were in control. At least you saw it coming. And then there's the hypervigilance, that constant low-level scanning of the other person's tone, their facial expressions, how long they took to reply to a text, the slightly different way they said goodnight last Tuesday. You're not paranoid, you're pattern matching. Your nervous system developed an extremely sensitive early warning system because at some point, reading the room wasn't just useful, it was necessary for emotional survival. The problem is that survival system doesn't come with an off switch. It fires even when there's no threat. It reads neutral as suspicious. It reads calm as suspicious too, honestly. Because calm wasn't a thing that lasted. What you're experiencing isn't irrational. It's a survival response that's no longer needed, but doesn't know that yet. There's also something that happens with receiving care that doesn't get talked about enough. For a lot of people who grew up in homes where love had conditions, being cared for feels deeply uncomfortable. Not just unfamiliar, actually uncomfortable. Because receiving without giving back immediately feels like debt, like you owe something, like you're taking up too much space, like the other person is going to realize they want something in return that you can't provide. You became very good at giving, at anticipating others' needs, at being useful, easy, low maintenance, because that felt like the safest way to justify being loved. But the version of love you didn't practice, the version where someone simply loves you for existing, that version feels almost too much to hold. So you deflect the compliment. You minimize the gesture. You find a reason to doubt the sincerity. Not because you're ungrateful, because letting it land feels terrifying. Because if you let it matter, it can be taken away. Here's what nobody tells you about healing from this. Insight isn't enough. You can understand every single thing in this video, nod along, recognize yourself in all of it, and your nervous system will still flinch the next time someone is kind to you. Because the nervous system doesn't update through understanding. It updates through experience. Repeated, consistent, nothing bad happened experience. It needs enough moments of someone staying and nothing falling apart that it slowly, reluctantly begins to revise its prediction, which means this takes time. More time than feels fair. There will be moments where you intellectually know you're safe and emotionally feel like the walls are closing in anyway. That's not failure. That's just the gap between knowing and feeling. And that gap closes slowly, not all at once. One thing that actually helps is learning to notice when your alarm system fires and ask a simple question. Is this happening right now, or is this a memory? Not to dismiss what you're feeling. The feeling is real. But naming it as old information rather than current threat creates a sliver of space. And in that sliver, you get to choose your response instead of just reacting. There's also something that has to be grieved somewhere in all of this. Because underneath the hypervigilance and the self-protection and the flinching at kindness, there is a version of you who just wanted to feel safe and didn't. Who deserved consistency and got confusion instead. Who needed love without conditions and had to learn to earn it. That's a real loss. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just real. And grief, quiet, honest grief, is often the only thing that actually lets it move through, rather than just staying lodged somewhere in your chest for decades. Being loved and not feeling safe is one of the loneliest experiences there is. Because from the outside, everything looks fine. You have the good relationship, the kind person, the stable thing you said you wanted. And on the inside, you're still braced, still waiting, still scanning for the moment it all turns. But you are not broken. You are someone whose nervous system learned a very specific lesson in a very specific environment. And that lesson made sense at the time. It kept you prepared. It kept you from being blindsided. It did its job. It's just that the job is finished now, and some part of you slowly is starting to figure that out. That's not nothing. That's actually everything. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Sometimes, the most healing thing is just knowing you're not the only one who feels this way. And sending this video to the right person might be exactly what they needed today. Drop something in the comments. Tell me, does love feeling unsafe resonate with you? Or maybe you found something that helped you start to feel safer in relationships. I read these, and your words genuinely contribute to what this channel becomes. And if you're new here, subscribe. This channel is dedicated to the psychology most people never hear about themselves, the kind that makes you feel understood in a way you didn't expect. New videos every week. Don't miss the next one.